I don't know if you've looked around lately, but the Helldivers 2 community is in a rocky place. You might be asking yourself, what started all of that? And the answer, at least in my opinion, is the balance patch. It spawned some intense tribalism, with players either embracing the changes because it broke the meta, or hating the changes because it caused a new wave of balance issues. Let me be clear, it is on the players to provide feedback to the developers the right way. That holds true across all channels, public and private. It's on the developers, and when I say developers, I mean the company developing the game, to keep their composure and rely on their community managers to have a clear communication plan. This is usually mapped out ahead of launch, but the best laid plans often go awry, and in the case of Helldivers 2, there was no way they could anticipate the scale of communication they would need to deal with the viral success of the game. 1 to 2 community managers might have been able to handle a game with a peak player count of 10,000, which is more than Helldivers 1 originally had. But you need a small army, or an incredibly disciplined approach to deal with hundreds of thousands of players beating down your door across Discord, Twitter, and Reddit. So what happens when that all breaks down? A few good examples have popped up over the last day or two, and that's really what's caused a rift in the community. One such example is of an Arrowhead developer who took to Reddit to channel his frustration at the community after the influx of complaining about the patch. It doesn't take much to cross the line between professional and unprofessional, and that line was crossed pretty quickly. Here's the issue as far as I see it. The CEO has come out and said he encourages the team to communicate with the community, but in this case, there is a magnifying glass on everything said publicly, with dozens of videos and stories written every day about the game. And yes, I understand, we are part of that system. One misstep can cause a firestorm, and that's exactly what happened when one developer was pushed past their breaking point. This concept of open communication across the entire team, regardless of role, might have worked with Helldivers 1 when the community was small. It might also work once the original hype of the game dies down. But with the viral initial success of Helldivers 2, there are hundreds of thousands of people using those official channels. Some of them are using them for good, to have real conversations about the game, hopefully leading to a better future state for Helldivers 2. Some of them are memeing and trolling and just straight up being disruptive, and that's part of the challenge when things get popular. There's a reason why you have communication professionals like community managers and public relations specialists be the front lines of the community, because most times developers don't know how to handle the masses. And when I say developers, I mean folks that are not in communications roles. Now again, the CEO of Arrowhead has been out in front on all of this and said that developers were taking criticism of the recent patch as personal attacks, and therein lies the heart of the issue. Success and being in the spotlight is not something this team has had to endure. It's a huge unknown and a completely different beast than a small team creating a game for a small audience. You take that a step further, and not only is it success, but rapid success. At the beginning, the team was laser focused on fixing a myriad of game-breaking bugs like server issues and connectivity problems. But once that dust cleared and people started asking, what's next? Well, that's where things get interesting. The responses that I've seen have been very emotionally charged, not strategic communications aimed at moving the conversation and the community forward. Now, these issues weren't just happening on Reddit, they were also happening on the Helldivers official Discord. Moderators were accused of deleting overly critical posts, and some were even seen antagonizing players. Now, I don't envy the roles of community managers or moderators at all, because they are constantly dealing with a flood of trolling and nonsense, but mods were at the center of the drama here, instigating arguments with the players. Luckily, the team seems to have acted relatively quickly, and some moderators are no longer in that position, but the team is dealing with those issues across multiple fronts and different platforms. Developers on Reddit are blasting community members, Discord mods are removing posts and antagonizing players, and there is just a stream of noise across Twitter. It begs the question, how do you control all of that chaos? The smart money says you limit your communications and you are strategic about what you put out there publicly, which does go against the company's philosophy of open communication. The CEO has had to step up in a major way, and he's done a lot of damage control, and he's really been on the leading edge trying to keep the peace between players and developers. He even issued a public statement condemning the action of people on his team and promising steps to rectify the behavior. Now, that frustration has also boiled over on the player side too. People are fed up with both sides, and rightfully so. Players want the developers to focus on balancing the game and deploying new content, and they want the community to stop with the trolling, the harassment, and the general unproductive complaining that's leading to a ton of toxicity on the player side of things. It is a very strange quagmire of issues that both players and developers are wading through right now, and that's what happens when you have a viral game that is almost too online. No matter where you look, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you see Helldivers 2 content. A lot of it is memes, and they're hilarious, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it is serious conversations happening about the state of the game and the future of the game. Now, I've said this a few times now, but the team would really do well to release a roadmap into the wild. I know they've said it's out of date, but really, they need to get out in front and say, this is the future we see for the game. They don't need to spill all of the secrets. I think that would actually ruin a lot of what makes Helldivers 2 special. But to give players a general sense of what issues they're focused on, what kind of content they want to deploy in the future, and a timeline for all of that, I think it would alleviate some of, not all of, because we have some structural issues here, but some of the problems that we're highlighting in this video. So really, what is the path forward from here? Well, that is the million-dollar question. I think the key is restricting that open communication policy and really focusing on tailored messaging and, of course, the development of the game. We all want to see Helldivers 2 be successful. We all know it's a special game, but that can only really happen if we get out of this state of drama and constant back and forth and name calling, all of those negative things, and focus on the heart of the game: development, bug fixes, patches, and the future of where this game could go. Anyways, guys, would love to know your thoughts on everything going on in the community. Leave us a comment down below. And of course, if you like our Helldivers 2 content, specifically this unscripted stuff, leave a thumbs up on the video, and of course, consider subscribing. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.